Hi guys, let's talk a little bit about unit rate. So unit rate has a definition of, sorry, I lost my typing thing. Okay, so unit rate is one quantity of something. I can't really tell you what that something is until we have a question that has some context in it, which I'll give you in just a second. When we were doing unit rate, the very beginning of the year, I wasn't there yet. So I actually have never taught you unit rate myself. I left you lots of notes and lots of good things with Mrs. Bullivin, but I myself have not done this with you. So this is kind of me doing it with you for the first time as you're at home working on it. So just do the best you can, all right? When we did talk about this, though, and since when we have reviewed things and setting up rates and ratios and all that good stuff, there was one thing that we always remembered to do. And that was when we're setting up a rate, and remember, a rate is a comparison of two numbers, and we set it up like a fraction. Money always goes on top of our ratio or on top of our fraction. So that's going to be really important to remember as you're working through unit rates on the two unit rate assignments I left you. The first example I want to look at is just one I'm going to kind of randomly give you here. So let's say I'm going to the store and it costs $11 for 3 bags of chips. I want to know how much money am I going to spend per bag of chips. That word per is really important when we're talking about unit rates, primarily because per tells us we're finding one of something. So I want to know how much am I going to spend per bag of chips. So as I just said, unit rates or rates in general are a comparison of two numbers. So what I'm comparing here is my money, my quantity of dollars, to the chips. So if I set that up into a ratio for what I know right now, I know it's $11 for 3 bags of chips. At this point in the year, you should all be able to tell me what operation I'm going to do when I have a fraction like this. Remember, fractions are always just division problems. So in my calculator, and you should have one, you can access it on Google, you can use your cell phone. 11 divided by 3 is going to get me this number of 3.6 repeating. Now, what is it that we're really looking at here? 3.6 what? So when we set up this ratio, remember what we're looking for is a unit rate. So we're looking for a denominator of 1 here. So what I'm looking at is 3.6 repeating dollars per 1 bag of chips. My context is money. I don't write money how I have it written on my board right now. 3.6 repeating as dollars, I need to first have my dollar sign out there. And then I have to round properly. That 6 next to the first 6 I have there is going to round it up to a 7. So I'm going to have $3.67 per bag of chips. So that's how I'm finding unit rate on these. Right now, if you're watching this video, I'm assuming that you have your work in front of you. So if you can pull out from your math packet that I gave you the placemat activity. And the placemat activity has an A in the upper left corner, and then in the middle of the page it has the big word sum. There's a front and there's a back. I would like you to look at the front, which is the A side currently. So on this A side, I want to specifically look at the example on the bottom right-hand corner. I'm going to type it onto my screen right now. It says Henry can run 12 laps in 30 minutes. How long will it take to run 16 laps? So this is the example I want to look at. Henry can run 12 laps in 30 minutes. How long will it take him to run 16 laps? So I first have to figure out what it is I'm comparing. So if I'm looking at how long will it take him to run 16 laps, I'm looking at the amount of minutes per lap. So like in my head as I'm saying that, that word per is like my fraction line. So what I'm finding here is minutes per lap. I'm looking for how many minutes per one lap. So when I set this up, I know right now that it's going to take 30 minutes for 12 laps. So I know that information right off the bat. So when I do that division, 30 divided by 12, I should get 2.5. And 2.5 is the same thing as 2.5. And just like in my example above, I can put that over 1 because I'm looking for a unit rate. What I'm really saying here is it takes 2.5 minutes or 2.5 minutes per one lap. I can then use that information to answer my question. The question was, how long will it take to run 16 laps? Well, if I know that it takes 2.5 minutes to run one lap, all I need to do is multiply that number by 16 laps to get the total time it's going to take me. 2.5 times 16 is equal to 40 minutes. By now, you know my stylus is not good. So anyway, that's the abbreviation MIN, M-I-N, for minutes. It looks not like that at all. On this activity that I did give you, it's called a placemat activity because once you find the answer to all 4 of the items on the one side, you would add all of your answers together to get the total sum, and you would write that in the middle. You have both sides to do on the placemat activity, and then I also left you a complex fractions to unit rates activity. I'm going to do complex fractions in another video that you can watch right after this one. So I'll see you guys soon.